you doing there all? Welcome to another episode of Nexweave TV. So today we have an interesting show. So let's jump on in and let me introduce you all to one of the founders of Nexweave, Ender. Say hi, Ender.
Hey guys.
Hey there. All right, jumping on in. Let's go ahead and introduce our first guest, which is one of the founders of a platform named Postaga. We've had him on before. Andy, welcome to the show.
Hey guys.
Hey there. And last but not least, let's go ahead and invite our last guest. A lot of you know her as Miss Evans, one of the VIP brand ambassadors also for Nexweave. Say hello.
Hi everybody, I'm back.
So you can tell this is already going to be an energetic show. Sel, you bring a lot of that energy, so thanks for joining us today too.
You're welcome.
Let's jump right.
So I guess that means that Ender and I don't bring the energy. Is that what you're saying, Bruce?
All three of us kind of like bring the snooze fest. We make everyone fall asleep. There you go. I put it out there. That's the type of show this is going to be. There we go. We're just putting everything out there. The smelly fish on the table. Okay, so
you guys can rest, and we'll take care of all the noise over here.
There you go. So thank you all for joining us today. So let's jump right on into it. So a couple weeks ago, we talked to you about the Postdoc integration that we had with Nexweave. So now we invited Andy back and say, hey, let's do it a little bit, more Nexweave eccentric and focus on what some of the use cases that the community could come up with. So Miss Evans had a chance to also play with that integration. So we figured, well, let's bring her on and let's discuss how both the platforms interact with each other once the community's had a chance to play with it. So that being said, Sel had a chance to play with it. What do you think about that integration?
It's super simple. So right from where you actually create the sequences within Postaga, you're able to literally just put in your API for Nexweave, pull up all your campaigns, select which one you want to do, and map your variables. So it's super, super, super simple. I'll show you guys some of the campaigns that I've kind of come up with, and then hopefully that sparks some creativity.
Perfect. Well, do you want to show us now?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and show you now. Give me just a second. I've
sure.
already
Let's go and
pulled
bring
them
that
out
up on
whenever. Okay. Share screen.
Andy, for the other founders that are out there, how long did it take you to complete that native integration between Nexweave and Postdoc?
Less than a week. It was pretty easy actually. Well, I do want to first say that I am a non-technical founder on the team, so I cannot take any credit. I can say that Indra and I connected, and I saw what Nexweave had, and I'm like, I would love it, do an integration, and I can take credit for looking into that. But in terms of actually doing the coding, that wasn't me. But my co-founder who made it all happen said that it was relatively easy to do. So there's that. So if you're looking to do an integration with Nexweave with your own software, it's not too difficult. But then again, also I have no idea what your coding skill level is. So I'm now walking this completely back, but it wasn't too bad. It didn't take weeks or months or anything like that. And Nexweave's team was great on working with us, answered all our questions really quick, and we got it done pretty quickly.
So less than 40 man hours, essentially, is what you're saying.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I know some founders have always had questions about the difficulty or the time that's going to be associated to that type of development, right? Hey, I do have that interest, right? And I do want to integrate. It's just I don't have the time. I don't have the manpower. So having something like that, right, that a previous founder has already done that integration, has a semblance of an idea that they could tell the founders, look, think about it in terms of 30 hours and you can complete the integration. That's something that they have to weigh out. Do they want to build their company around some sort of personalization features? And 30 man hours is all that's going to take. Maybe that's a value prop that they're willing to consider. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right,
and
Ms.
for
Evans,
us
go
especially.
ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Andy.
No, and
No,
for
go
us,
ahead.
like this was something that we were in particular like excited about because we like I've seen like Nexweave's content, and I've been just like itching to try it out myself and like get and like our users have been asking us, like how can we add like personalized media into our outreach emails and make them stand out a bit more, and this definitely adds an advantage to help you stand out amongst other cold emails hitting people's inboxes. And so, yeah, this was really like high on our list of things that we wanted to make happen.
And you didn't have to build that whole structure out yourself.
Yeah, like so like on our like wish list for long term of like our roadmap of things that we were thinking about, we were like, it would be great if we could have some personalized images, like really personalized images were the thing that we were thinking about. And then we came across Nextweave and saw, there's video and GIFs and landing pages and stuff that we had not even considered. And we're just like, if we could just do an integration, this would save us so much time and get us there. And and it only took us less than a week of development to make it happen. And now it works seamlessly with our platform. And yeah, we've been loving it so far.
And when you say loving it, I'm thinking like I'm a data guy. I'd like to see what those numbers of reflection of like, how much of a difference is it making with existing campaigns with other Postaga users, et cetera, et cetera. So that'd be cool to see.
That would be cool to see. We're still, since we just launched the integration, we're still in early stages, but we are working on some case studies and materials that we're going to be putting together in the near future that'll kind of break it all down. So expect in the next month or so, like a breakdown of cold email outreach responses and results with personalized media versus non. And I'm also curious about different mediums, like how personalized images compare to GIFs and video and things like that. So yeah, that's high on our list in terms of like content that we're looking to produce.
So let's do this. Once that use case comes out in, let's say, a month or two, let's also have you come back then and let's discuss it so that way people have an understanding, both developers and users, how using two platforms like Nexweave and Postaga come together. What are like what's the ROI, right? What are the benefits that you're going to get from that type of integration? I think that just makes sense.
For sure. So we're looking at like Thanksgiving-ish, early December, holiday season. Let's do it.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, perfect. On that note, Ms. Evans, let's go ahead and have you take it away.
Okay. So I personally love, I'm going to start with why I like Postaga. So Postaga is really, really good for booking podcasts. It's really, really good for just general backlink outreach and things like that. Things that, generally you're not going to have time to do. You're not going to have time to do. So what I really love about the fact that it now integrates is, let's be real, I've taken millions of trainings on networking, read books on networking, and the long and short of it is people like to talk about themselves. So the reason that personalized marketing is so effective is because it captures attention by showing people stuff about themselves. So in these outreach, like for instance, if you're outreach and you're saying, hey, like I really liked this post that you put on your website or whatever, you can actually share an image just like I've created here with a screenshot of the post right there. Right. So it's a really, really good use case for some of these, showing, hey, I actually did read the post, which you didn't, but you can certainly make it look like that by putting it there. And it doesn't show because the default is clear, but if it finds their logo, it's going to put their logo here. And then it's going to say, we loved, you can always put like the post name here. So that's just a really, really nice use case for whenever you're trying to like say, hey, I read this post, really loved it, and everything else. So I don't know if you guys showed how easy it is to use, but literally Nexweave is right there, and you just put your API key in here. And much like the Chrome extension and everything else, all your campaigns are going to show up. You can select it. And you see here on the side all of the different tags that you can actually pull and use. So Postaga, the way that it was already laid out, made this super, super easy for the integration with Nexweave because all of your tags are literally right there on the side. So you can map whatever you want into directly into your personalized image. And then once you set your campaign, then that's it. So really the way that Postaga is set out and making it really easy for you to kind of go through the entire flow of the outreach is really ideal for the integration with Nexweave. So this is a really good use case. Like I said, another thing that's usually pretty impressive is GIFs, like we were talking about earlier. Here we have a GIF. I think if you obviously put their name in it, their website, their logo, anything like that into a GIF is usually fairly impressive. And I think I showed Andy the other day one of the video campaigns that I run, so that you can click on that, go to a personalized landing page and book a call or something like that. Because I think now Postaga is starting to do sales outreach as well. So a lot of this is just really, really ideal for the flow that they've built within Postaga. So the two of these together, you can have campaigns running in maybe like 15 minutes because it even has the sequence templates already pre-written. So this is like super lazy outreach, guys. Like super lazy, easy, intuitive outreach. So those are some really good use cases. I would love to see if like anybody in the community comes up with another really good use case for Postaga and Nexweave. But I think the personalized screenshots especially would be super effective, showing that you have visited their website and maybe even taken time to create that personalized image.
So real quick, and I got to say this, I like the fact that it's like so simple, like, you know, what's the phrase? So simple, a kid could do it or a dog could do it type of thing, right? And then A, and then B, I noticed that too, right? So I'm assuming those are the tags or on the fields, right? The custom fields that are going to be inserted on the right come from Postaga. The reason why I asked that is because Nina, who a lot of us know from the groups, has taken really big interest. So she's jumped in with like 5 comments. She just wanted to make sure that those tags specifically are populated by Postaga and not Nexweave.
Yeah, they're populated by Postaga, and Andy's confirming right there for me. Yeah. So they're populated by Postaga, which is the most important one that you're going to need when you're creating these campaigns. That's why it makes it super easy. And Postaga was set up that way before. So adding this integration and being able to just say, okay, I'm going to just copy and paste this tag over here makes it very, very easy when you're creating, like, you don't have to go anywhere. Once you put the API key in there and you've already created your campaigns, you can have several campaigns running and you can have them all. You can set them up in 5-15 minutes, depending on how many contacts you're verifying, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do hundreds if you wanted to.
Yeah, you really could. And the cool part about Postaga is it finds the contacts for you. It verifies the email for you. It has the email templates, but I'm telling you, like, you do nothing. You do nothing except maybe come up with your concept and tweak just a little bit to really fit your use case.
I got to ask, did you talk with Anina before this show? Because her next question literally was, what would you say in the emails?
Yeah,
you just said email templates. I was like,
yeah,
that was perfect.
It already has. See, which is an important selling point, I think, because a lot of the times people do wonder, like, what do I say? And Postaga completely eliminates that question of what do you say? How many podcast appearances have I booked already just using the sequences? And all I do is I add just a little bit about myself. Right, like, hey, I did this really cool thing. You should have me on your podcast. And that's it. And I get lots of responses just based off of adding that little bit about myself on top of their template. And then a personalized image. I mean, forget it. Like, I get with the podcast appearances, I get quite a few responses on that.
So is there a podcast email outreach template already inside Postaga for those people who don't know? Okay.
Yeah.
Helpful.
So we have a few different things. So like with any new account, we have templates and sequences built in. So if this is your first time doing like pitching podcasts to be a guest on a podcast, for example, you may have no idea what to say. And so a lot of the sequences and templates are pulled from sequences that we have tested and run ourselves and found success with, or other users on our platform have found success with. And so we also have a like template library you can choose from, and you can grab templates and add them to your account, so you don't have to figure out what to say with each pitch based on what it is you're looking for. So yeah, like there are a bunch of like variety of templates based on what you're like, who you're pitching to for what. But the podcast, I was telling Sel before, the podcast template and sequence in particular is based off the exact sequence that I use when I'm pitching podcasts. I've been on 30 something podcasts in the last year and change, just by using the pitch that Postaga has. And I'm thinking it'll probably be a bit more successful even when I add the personalized media to it. I got some inspiration from Sel in seeing how she like creates personalized media, and so I've created some personalized items myself, and I'm testing it out now, and I'm curious to see how it works out.
I honestly, and I know this isn't the Postaga show, but honestly, I think the first time I tried
That's okay.
The first time I tried Postaga, I was like mind blown, right? Because literally you go through, like it walks you through. It's like for dummies. Like, and I'm not saying you to be dumb to use it, but like literally it walks you through step by step by step. You don't do any thinking. All you do is fill in a couple fields, do a little bit of customization, and it literally walks you through, even gives you the templates in the flow. So it goes, okay, step 1, what are you trying to do? Step 2, what are the specifics, or what are you trying? Like, for instance, what post are you trying to promote? Okay, put a URL for the post you're trying to promote. Okay, what area are you trying to promote it to, or what subject matter are you trying to promote to? Okay, great. Here are a bunch of contacts for that. Now the next thing is validating all these emails. Okay, validate the email. Who's the contact for this? Great. All right, next, here's the sequence that you can use. Like it's like the whole thing. You got to try it once. I think you have to try it once to really understand the simplicity of the entire flow. So then adding a Nexweave experience in the sequences that they've already given you, right, really kind of adds a little something to what you're giving. So it's just really, it's a good partnership if you're trying to do some content marketing, to be honest. Like it's really, really, really cool. It's really neat.
Thanks. Yeah, well, so when we built it, that was like one of the reasons that we did like in the flow that we chose to, because like there are a lot of different tools that can help you with cold email and email outreach. Like there are tools that help you with prospecting. There are tools that help you with building and sending email sequences and have CRMs and follow-ups and stuff like that. And there are tools for email verifying. And a lot of the people that we spoke to that were at agencies or people who do link building and outreach and digital PR every day, they were using like a mishmash of different tools. And so what we were thinking is like, all right, we want to make this so people who have never done outreach before could just do it. And so like our workflow, basically just like walks you through the whole thing. Yeah. And
helpful too.
Yeah, and like we've gotten just so much feedback. Like how the workflow looks today is definitely evolved from where we were like on day one.
And Nina was saying, so where are the emails sent? Can you set up an SMTP account with Postaga?
Yes, so we have 2 different methods that we can use to send outreach emails. One is through SMTP, and so you can hook in your Outlook or G Suite or any other email. Another option that we have is if you have your own domain, we can set up like a custom domain sending option. So like, for example, if you have, let's say, Nexweave.com but you want to or Nexweave.co, you can have basically connect it to Postaga, so you can send through either an alternate domain or like a subdomain, like m.nexweave.com or something like that. We have 2 different options for how to do it, but yeah, it's completely up to you what you want to do.
There we are. Next one. And Nina really wants to do gift guide outreach with that. for e-commerce products. It totally makes sense.
Oh, interesting.
Could you please suggest that he do PR outreach for gift guides? In other words, I'm thinking she's referring to making a template for it. I bet he doesn't have one, but that would be amazing for that. I think just in general, like gifting, because it's around the holiday season, that kind of makes sense. Outreach for gifting.
Is there a, like, I'm happy to I have an idea right now, but like, what kind of gift guide are you thinking about? Like, do you have like are your products in a specific area? Like getting products into gift guides, like.
Yes,
Okay,
that's exactly what she was looking for.
Sure.
Even better, she's giving you a little present, so she can't say that she didn't give you anything for Christmas. There you go. She's got some templates for you.
Yeah, she didn't give you anything for Christmas.
All right. Mind if I share my screen?
Yeah, please go ahead.
All right. What I like about doing these just live things is I have no idea what the results are going to be. And so let's just go for it and
so
see.
She's saying like the top 10 gifts for mom. So that's like a resources, like the resources outreach. It's the same. It's just a different twist to the resources outreach.
Yeah. So let's see. So one thing I might do, since it's kind of specific, I'll do, so like here's a Postaga screen. Kind of as Sal was mentioning before, it kind of helps you choose what you want to do. So like we have campaigns that are geared towards building links to your content, or campaigns geared towards getting your products and apps press coverage, getting you on podcasts, doing sales lead outreach. But for this one with gift guides, I would
say promote product or service, Andy.
So what I would recommend for like promoting a product or service is if you have like a specific competitor or a specific product in your industry, but going kind of like broad for like gift guides, I would probably try like just this custom search. So now I've got like this search box here. I'm going to just search for holiday gift guide, and it's going to give me results of holiday gift guides and other like bloggers who have written about holiday gift guides. And
I love it.
We've got this search. Cool. So I've got holiday gift guides from Today, Forbes, Barnes and Noble, etc. And so if I want, I can kind of check these out if I want to. And so great. And so like what effectively we're going to do here is we're going to reach out to these sites, and we're going to pitch them to include your product in their next gift guide, or update their existing gift guide. And so next what happens is, now that I've chosen these are the sites I want to reach out to, Postaga is going to automatically try and find the author of that content, whether it's like it's a blog post or anything like that, or if it can't find the author, find someone else in a marketing role at that company. And so it's kind of going through each of these sites, and then trying to find the right ideal like contact person at them. And so it's going through this, and it's going to pull up these in a sec, but it's going through these. And while I'm waiting over here, I wanted to share a quick thing. So I had run another, I built another campaign where I have some contacts I want to reach out to Inder, and I want to reach out to my co-founder Sam and Noah from AppSumo. And I created some email templates, and so to show you kind of like what the sequence looks like. So I have a few different email templates that use some Nexweave integration stuff. So I'm reaching out to Inder, like a very basic thing. I'm saying like, hey, let's get some coffee, or something like that. This next one, this GIF one, is one that Cell kind of inspired me with. So I'm like, to give you some ideas, like I can this is going to stand out in their inbox amongst the other emails
Because
that
it's
have
funny.
yeah. Other ones, like if you're doing like outreach for blogs, trying to pitch them to link to your content. Like here, so here's one like where I have a screenshot of their site and I want to like pitch my article for them to link to, or yeah, a website screenshot, or hey, there is a screenshot of your site plus your company's logo. There's so much that you can do with it, and so like me pitching, going on this podcast, I had a lot of fun creating these templates in Nexweave. But yeah, I still got some more to do. But yeah, so anyway, back here, I've got these contacts that Postaga's found, so I don't have to, otherwise I might have to do this manually, but Postaga will do it for us, and then find and validate their email addresses, and go through all of this. And now I can choose an email sequence, and I'm going to do my Nexweave sequence, and it'll automatically now build personalized emails for all of these contacts, and so on. And oh, that reminds me, I had to edit the merge field, which I didn't. All right. And so yeah, I had to add that. There we go. And so now that I've got the merge field added, all of the name stuff shows up where it's supposed to in the Nexweave media.
So Anina was asking, what kind of Nexweave interactions would you normally add to your outreach campaigns?
There are just so many options here, and I'm still like part of like what I'm doing now is testing out different things to see what kind of responses and reactions we get. So for example, like I want to see how is an image going to perform compared to a GIF, compared to a video. I don't have the answer today of what's going to be the best. I would definitely try them out, and kind of see what kind of reaction they get before, like. I
get this type of question a lot. So I think this is where you show like creativity, and you show who you are, and you show your personality, and you show like your brand with these personalized messages. Right. So like, for instance, if you have a really fun brand, a funny brand, then you're going to want to use a funny GIF, right? Or something that kind of shows your product off to them. When I'm doing this strategy behind a lot of these personalized images, I like to either make them laugh, or I like to make them envision the end goal. Right. So for instance, I think I showed you guys in this group like a personalized campaign that I did for a publisher, where we did LinkedIn outreach, and we put like their picture on the book and their name on the book, right? So we're trying to make them envision the end goal. So it's about thinking what your objective is, right? And then using that creativity and your brand voice to come up with this strategy that really, like, when you're finished, you want to look at the campaign and be like, oh, that was good. That's good, right? And you want to feel that. That you really put some creativity into some thought in that, and that they're going to understand, one, the benefit of doing whatever it is that you've asked them to do, and two, you're going to be a lot more memorable from that. So that's kind of the idea, is to use the creativity and to have the objective really reflect your brand voice. But yeah, I get asked that question a lot. So sorry to interrupt you, Andy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thank you. I'm still like tinkering, like, and I'm sure once we like see kind of like what the results it is that we're getting, we'll like definitely build some templates around that, what we're seeing is working well. But yeah, I definitely agree with you, like that idea of like obviously like having personalized media is going to in and of itself make your email stand out in someone's inbox, but if you can add and just like, the more creativity you can add to it, the better. And we've constantly seen that. Like, I'm sure most everyone in the audience has gotten cold pitches before from people, and the ones that are more generic are the ones that get deleted or sent to spam. Like, I get emails every day about, "Hello, sir. Do you need any outsourced IT services?" And even if I did, like this is just very uninspired and doesn't suggest that they know anything about my business that I would be a good candidate. But
Right.
if there was something like if there was something that made them stand out amongst everyone else who does outsourced IT services, I might be more amenable to talking.
One thing that really matters with the outreach as well is who you're actually reaching, like who your target market is. So you have to think about what's going to resonate most with them. So I think Andy can do the different use cases and stuff, and that's going to be great. But I think it's still in every case going to take some testing to see what best resonates with your target.
Totally agree.
I think one of the things that we've seen is that depending on what industry you're in, it varies quite a lot. If it's going to be something a lot more serious, we've seen images work a lot better than GIFs. If it's something which has to do with a B2C business, especially something around anything to do with gifts or wellness, that's when GIFs are significantly better as compared to images. Uh, we're also trying something where we will have an element of community building wrapped through outreach, where I'll probably have a similar connection being launched out in the outreach and talk about how you can join my community. That is something that works very well. And a simple image where you got a thought bubble is also good enough over there. So one of the things I advise people is that don't go by any playbook that is being suggested. Go ahead and run your standard A/B test to see which media type and what kind of emotion, what kind of information actually works for you. And then once you've nailed it, then it's a matter of scaling up.
Right. I mean, and that's all marketing really is just a bunch of testing. That's all. That's all it really is. That's the secret. Okay, I just told everybody the secret. It's that marketing is about a lot of testing a lot, and testing quickly.
So while you guys are over here, I'll tell you a quick story in terms of how this integration actually got underway. Uh, Andy and I were part of the same mastermind group, and I happened to see one of his sessions where uh, he just literally came across something that we want Nexweave to be, where you step in, you talk about who you are, what kind of campaign you want to run, and it starts suggesting you templates that you could use, probably this if it's e-commerce, this if it's community building, etc., etc. And when I saw the demo, I could literally see how much effort has gone in terms of building Postaga, where he's mapped out all the scenarios in which Postaga can be used. And it's like a very neat wizard that's taking you step by step in terms of how do you pick up a use case, how do you craft messages, how do you merge content, etc., etc. And that's where I thought that this is one of the integrations that I have to get on board, because it's already so simple for someone to go ahead and talk out these steps. If we just add an element of media that's also very simple to add in, it could probably get in a lot kind of better results for each of those guys who are doing it. And I think it took about just a couple of conversations for us to connect over there. Andy mentioned that they wanted to do a feature like that, but it's later down the roadmap, and that's where we thought, let's provide that feature within the whole package and try to take it forward like that.
Right. Like I'm sure for you creating and developing that feature of personalized images and GIFs and things like that, like the core of the Nexweave product took some time to do. And so when we were like, all right, so this could be like a project that takes us a whole quarter to figure out. And it's not just like throwing text on top of an image that connects to a merge field or anything like that. It's also the fact that you want to make the text look natural. Things have different fonts. and colors, and like the text warping so it looks like it fits right on an item, like making it so a screenshot fits into a computer screen, or handwriting fits onto a note or something like that. And we were just like, no, like Nexweave does it. It's amazing, and they have an API, and from what we're seeing, it looks easy enough to work with. So let's just do that. And so, yeah, that's how we ended up there.
One of the comments in talking about handwriting, can you adjust the handwriting font on the picture from within Postaga?
So all of the personalized media stuff is done inside Nexweave. Basically, Postaga grabs the media, inserts it into the email, and then connects the merge fields from Postaga and from each individual contact with the merge fields that exist in Nexweave. And so, yeah, if my email is to John as like the first name or something like that, and I've got a merge field in Nexweave for the person's name, that connects to that. But all of the editing of the media itself is done within Nexweave.
So technically, we can upload our own context if we wanted to also.
Yes. So yeah, one popular campaign type in Postaga is if you've done your research already and you have a list of people you want to reach out to, you can upload a CSV file or just drop in a CSV file of emails, and we'll then go and verify those for you to make sure that those are all working emails and that they're not going to bounce or have any deliverability issues. And then that'll all hook in, and you can integrate that with Nexweave as well.
Perfect. There you go. Anina, I hope that answers a lot of your questions there too. Indra, go ahead.
So specifically about fonts, you have the option of selecting any font from the Google font library. But let's say you come across a premium font which represents high handwriting a lot more better. You can go ahead and upload your own custom fonts inside the platform, and you can use them as per your brand guides or as per your liking. So you have that flexibility on the platform.
There are a lot of fonts to pick from, though, already. There are a lot.
Yeah, the whole Google, like the Google font library is big.
It's a lot. There's a lot.
So we got Anina definitely excited for that. So Anina, thank you very much for participating and asking all of your questions. We want to hear how both, using Nexweave and Postaga works out for you. So please, once you get a chance after like a month, come back, let us know. Heck, if you even want to come on the show and let us know, what your campaign looked like, the results that you have. We'd love to hear your use case example too. We could do a quick little interview and a blog about it. So Anina, thank you for your interest and all of your questions and comments today. You were kind of like today's extra co-host. So thank you very much. This is a good question. And there she is. Perfect. Awesome. She has an interesting question, Indra, that I don't think we've ever discussed before, but let me bring it up. And this is going to be one for Indra real quick. Can Nexweave meld or merge or blend two photos together? Like if you want to pitch someone to be on your podcast, could it find a photo of them and meld it together with a photo of you?
Yes, so you'll have to fetch the assets at your end because we don't provide data enrichment as such. But once you've got those images and you want to show, let's say, an example of a roster which shows 5 images of the people that you want to have on the podcast, and one of them being the people you're reaching out to, you can go ahead and do that. So you can have an image over an image merge happening, or an image or a video merge happening. So you can play around with it, have their LinkedIn profiles, their website screenshots, etc., moving over.
Perfect. So technically, in a way, it might be possible. Like, I'll put something out there. What if I had a photo of me and it was a transparent layer behind me on a photo, right? So technically, you would have 3 photos. You would have a background layer, the person you're reaching out to, and then yourself. Could we do 3 kind of like that?
Yes. So imagine them as being layers. So if your background layer is where you want to have the canvas laid out, then you want the foreground to have, let's say, 3 images or 2 images, depending on how you want to portray them. You can have that placed because you can have multiple image elements on the canvas. And each of these image elements can pull in a different personalized media asset and lay it out together in the same canvas. So you could have, say, a LinkedIn image which shows the profile photograph of the individual that you're reaching out to. And at the same time, you could have a screenshot of their LinkedIn profile on the same page. And if you want to top that up with their logo, that also can be added. So you can have 4 to 5 assets merged into one asset itself.
Oh, there you go. So if we wanted to get even fancy and add the company logos on top of the individuals that we're reaching out to,
you'd have to basically set up a pretty nice automation flow in order to get information and feed it into Nexweave appropriately.
In fact, let me show you guys one of the things that we are that I just set up before this particular session. I'll just pull up that particular template.
Sure, go ahead. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and I'm going to keep bringing up some more comments while you bring that up, Inder. And Nina, yeah, she's stoked and excited. We'd love to have you on. And this the invite that I'm giving to Nina, guys, extends out to all of you. If you've used specifically Nexweave with any of our integration partners that you've seen us, discuss, or even some of the integration partners that we even haven't had on a live stream, we want to hear about it from you. If you have a specific use case, reach out to us on the Facebook page or myself or Inder. And then we want to hear, what are the results that you had, let's say one without using Nexweave and then one with using Nexweave. We'd love to have you on the show to describe that. And in the process, you get to promote yourself, your company, and your product, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a, full open invite to everyone. So Anina, thank you for getting the conversation going. Yes, maybe it could be a photo from their LinkedIn profile. Absolutely. That's kind of like what I was thinking in mind. When you said merging pics for multiple people, I was thinking the same thing. So, Andrew, I'll put it out there. Is there a way, I hate to say this, besides doing it manually, is there a way that we could pull from a user's LinkedIn profile as part of an automation?
Yes. So,
or would we have to use something like ConnectZid or one of the other automation platforms?
So we have a Chrome plugin, and I'm going to quickly show you how that works as well.
Sure. And then I'll go ahead and share your screen whenever you're ready.
So one of the things that we've done is that we've developed a Chrome plugin specifically for our outreach. Once you have that Chrome plugin set up, you can have these kind of messages sent out through your Gmail as well as your LinkedIn. So I'm going to just give me a second. I'll pull up a few examples from LinkedIn itself, where as soon as you activate the plugin, it will give you the options where you can also pull in their profile image and use that as a message within the LinkedIn ecosystem itself.
Okay.
So, yeah, assuming that I want to send a message to Andy itself. Let me just pick up. Yeah, so one of the things is that when you're sending these messages on LinkedIn, it has to be the first connection. I'll just go ahead and add Andy right now. In the meanwhile, let me just send one to someone in the team itself. So when I'm on the profile, you will see this button added over here. I can click this button and fetch the various campaigns that I've created on the Nexweave platform. So if let's say there is one which is specifically designed to take in images, I'm not sure which one would be the right one over here, but let's say if it's this one, it will give you the options to pull out certain parameters from their LinkedIn profile. So this one that you get, this can pull in their LinkedIn profile and include that into one of the sequences. It's just that you'll have to construct the sequence in such a way that once you've got this particular profile, you can include that in a media asset and then send it across. Let me see if I've got an example on that.
Now, depending on the sophistication of the campaign, you may want to remove background and things like that. So you'd want to build something within like Integrately or Connexit or one of those other platforms to go through the several steps and then deliver the campaign to you.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and clone one of these. So if I had set up the template in such a way that it was also supposed to include the LinkedIn profile, or in this case, a logo, I could have then swapped this with the URL on the LinkedIn campaign so that I could have their photograph also inserted over here. And it's fairly easy to do. You can just go ahead, pick up an image element, place it wherever you require. So let's say if I want to have the image placed over here, and then we will set this as the LinkedIn profile variable by adding a variable over here. So let's say if this is the LinkedIn profile, the fallback value is this one. I go back to design experience. I can switch the value over here by picking in the LinkedIn variable. Just optimize it by just clicking on reset so that it picks up the right aspect ratio. And then once this template is ready, you can just use the same template to reach out to individuals one by one. If you're using the LinkedIn plugin, or if you're using tools like Texo and all, you can have a bunch of LinkedIn profiles pulled in. The images are being pulled in from there, and then you can have them included in your outreaches. So I think this is an example where you've got a logo over here. Let me just change this back again. I've got the logo over here. I've got the website screenshot over here. If I want to make it look as if it's a video, I can go ahead and add another component, which could be, say, a play button. Yeah, I think we've added too many media assets over here.
Andrew, I've never heard of that being a bad thing. Maybe it would also be helpful if we could search in that library too one day.
Folders. Yeah, I always like folders.
Makes sense.
Yeah, especially for the power users, I think we'll have to bring in those folders. Yeah, finally, I've got a play button over here. So you can then go ahead and include something like this to make it appear as if it's a playable video asset. Again, I'm going to just go ahead and optimize it. And then once you've made a template like this, the other thing that you can do is that you can hyperlink these images to videos. So when they get the email, they'll feel as if this is a video that I can play. Yeah, it can be done with images or GIFs. And when they click on that particular image, it'll take them to a personalized landing page where you can have a personalized video play for them. You can have images on the landing page that are hyper-personalized for them. So that's something that has worked very well, especially for B2C businesses. And now we're also trying to understand how the playbook works better for B2B businesses.
Now, I don't know if I've suggested this before, and I'm sure I have, but would it be possible in the future to like have it to where you have like for each workspace have a default play icon, right? And then if we select thumbnail, but it's the thumbnail, it's going to automatically apply it. That would make it much easier.
Or just click a toggle button to insert a generic play button, right? Just to make it easier and faster. Yeah.
So I think you'll see more elements being added over here. When we started off, it just had text and images. We have the logo components. So within shapes, we'll probably have one more option, which will have a play button included over here, which is as per the CSS style that you picked up. So if your brand guides include an orange, then it'll be an orange. If it's a white or a purple, it will have those particular colors. So we already have these options where you can go ahead and switch these to the respective colors that you want. we'll just expand this library where there are these play buttons or these quick emoticons that you can use very quickly.
Yeah, but if we do it to where if they select thumbnail, that way you would no longer have to do two different images. You know what I mean? If you could always have it be the same image both times, and it would automatically put the play emblem on there instead of having, because now we do the two different images, right? One for the email and then one for, it would eliminate that need if you just auto apply it within the campaign. So just a thought.
Yeah. No, that actually makes a lot of sense, because many of us have to create those two images. So if we have the option of having it as a thumbnail or having it as a video play icon, then I think it will make a lot of sense. So I think we know this one. This is going to be helpful for everyone. Thanks for pointing that out again. I know you've mentioned that in the past.
I think I have, but it's like, let me mention it again. But yeah, it would eliminate the need to do two different ones, which would be it would be less to search through as well. So it would eliminate two issues at once.
Correct. And I think it'll make it fairly easy to have those kind of journeys being crafted as well.
Yeah.
So Anina asks, how does then, once you create that personalized photo, let's say pulling in the assets from LinkedIn, how does then that go to Postaga? I'm assuming within Postaga, when you create a campaign, you're referencing a specific Nexweave campaign also, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. So Anina, when you insert the API, that API allows Postaga to reference or pull the assets that you've created inside Nexweave. So just think about it like that. It's a way to link the two platforms together. And we've got Anina really excited about that. So Anina, for sure, you're coming on for 6 weeks. I'm just putting it out there. You're under a timeline already. You can't fight it. The whole world knows about it. There's no debating it. You're coming on the show, and you're going to tell us how that works out.
We said it publicly. You're locked in.
There you go. There you go. You got a gun to your head. Just like we had said, we put a gun to Sal's head, and she showed up on the camera today. That's why she's here today. Under duress. There you go.
Did you see my little sign that said "Send help"?
She's like, there you go. Gift guide outreach and podcast invitations. I like the sound of that. I'm going to now use Postaga specifically for podcast integrations. That just makes sense, right? For video blogs and video podcasts, 100%.
Yeah, no, it would make so much sense. And then you could even have it to where, like, let's say you wanted them to see when you were free. Like, you could always create an entire flow where you put a video in there or something like that, and you can have it go to a personalized landing page and they can book you. It depends on how you'd want to do it, but it's just, there's plenty of use cases here.
So I'm going to talk about that real quick. And Indra and I have talked about this in the past. So the landing pages where the videos are going to be hosted on for Nexweave, right? What we're going to be having coming out in a future update is you'll have like little buttons or call to actions that you could put below the button or below the video. So some of those buttons could be like a redirect, and that redirect could be click here to schedule a time to chat with me, or click here to schedule a time of what 1 hour block would you like to, hop on a video podcast with me. The point being is that you'll be able to have interactions and buttons below the actual video that's hosted by Nexweave. It's almost like a call to action page of buttons below the hosted video. So it'll be kind of like an all-in-one. There you go.
So the whole idea is that we'll have some landing page templates made specifically for certain use cases. So let's say if it's a podcast outage and you want someone to go ahead and book a slot on your calendar for the next call. So we'll have the option of you selecting one of the landing page templates, which will have calendar integrations, etc., or any other booking tools. And then we'll have these extended onto different elements as well. So if you're into e-commerce, it will have a different set of layouts available. If it's community building, it's going to be a different set of layouts. And then the whole idea is that we're trying to see if we can invite others to come and create these on our platform and then make it available to others in the community.
I like it.
Yep, correct. Real quick. So Anina says we need a search Ender, which makes sense for those, the asset library. Ursula says, thank you for joining forces for awesome campaigns. Ursula, I have to agree with you on that one. It's a lot of times that we struggle on how to use the tools that we purchase, or we don't know a certain tool that can fulfill a certain need. This is another reason why we do these live streams. Andy, you've built a beautiful, magical platform that is just very simple and easy to understand, right? As I scroll down, I know how to associate what fields, like, Cell was showing an example of, and then A, and then B, it's like, okay, I understand how I can use Nexweave with certain integrations of let's say, customizable GIFs or customizable videos that, it's a GIF inside an email, but then when you click on it, it takes it to a video. The fact that we're demonstrating it, but you made it happen so seamlessly, I was like, I appreciate. But then other people like Ursula and Nina, you could see their excitement and appreciation for something like that too. Granted, each platform, there you go. Each platform has its own benefits, right? So in the case of Nexweave, you have teams can work on campaigns and multiple different sub-accounts. Great. Postaga is going to be its email outreach strength with using different domains. I totally get why both platforms are built separately, and I think that's the benefit of having two teams, each one with its own focus as to you guys are going to do what you do best. Ender, you're going to focus on what you do best is introducing different types of media. Which, guys, we haven't even covered all the different types of media. I think one episode we literally talked about all the future types of media, but I'm not going to repeat it now. So if you guys can find that episode, but we literally have talked about other different types of media that the platform doesn't even do yet. Just FYI, right? And then number two, I'm pretty sure Postdoc is going to have some more upcoming features. I don't think we've talked about it yet in the previous show, but do we have are there approved roadmap items that are coming out like in the next quarter or two, Andy, that you can discuss? Something to get people happy and interested that's PR friendly to talk about. What's
the most exciting stuff? Let me look at our roadmap real quick and see what do I think people are gonna be excited about. One thing that some of our power users in particular are going to appreciate that's coming out soon is basically like a save in progress feature. So like right now, if you're using Postaga,
thank you.
Yeah, I knew you'd like that one. So, it's a save in progress feature that'll let you save as you go. Which, if you're like working on a big campaign, maybe you don't want to do it all at once, or you don't want to leave your window open, so you can save it and come back to it later. Yeah, that is a much requested one, and that is the most immediate thing that we have coming out in the near future. For also another thing that like some of our more power users are asking for are things like more functionality with our CRM. Maybe it's not the sexiest thing, but some other things that we're looking into soon, like other campaign types related to like link building, like broken link outreach, help a reporter out related outreach. If you're
Haro, I've been using Haro for 10, 15 years. For a lot of guys who don't know what help a reporter out is, that's if you need to get pressed for any of the type of work that you're doing. You'll literally send an article to thousands of reporters, and they'll take your article and either share it or tweak it or interview you about it. Thank you for mentioning Haro, because I've used that 15 years. Yeah, that's another one that's a big request from people in the PR space. So yeah. That's what we're working on.
Postaga would be so perfect for that. Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right, glad to hear it. Thanks.
Anina's also going to use it for personalized invitations to her events. Glad to hear the use cases. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. And on that note, guys, we're coming up to the 1 hour mark. So let's go ahead and call it there. I feel like with the four of us, this could literally go on for more hours. So let me put a pin on it for now and say the next time the integration grows with more features from either side, let's go ahead and reconnect, let's say within the next month, let's say in the next 6 weeks, because this is interesting. This gets a lot of juices flowing, a lot of use cases, a lot of interest. This is a hot item right here, this combination that we have. So that being said, Andy, thank you for joining us today. Miss Evans, thank you for joining us today. Guys, I want to have you back on. This is exciting, more so than the typical wink wink snooze fest that we normally have. Just kidding, just kidding. I figured that'd be a joke. I'll blame the snooze fest on myself. Anina, I had stacked tier 2 on Nexweave. I just went up to a tier 4. Anina, I can't tell you this, the reason why, but you should get the max stack possible, and that's all I'm gonna say, and you're not gonna regret it. But there's something that's gonna come out to people who get the larger stacks, and that's it. I'm not gonna say no more. I'm not allowed to. Andrew told me that I can't say nothing, so there you go. Hopefully, there you go. Miss Evans, I don't even know if you know, but I can't tell you. I have been sworn to secrecy.
That's why I'm like, pero por qué? Like,
no,
there's not a lot of time left.
I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, if you haven't grabbed it yet, it's only 4 days and change before it's out.
So that's another reason why we do these live streams every week, guys, is to not just give you the reminder of what's going on with the campaign, A, but B, to show you that there's consistent trust building that's going on. And so that's big in the space, where there's consistent updates happening to the platform, consistent updates that are happening with integrations, and then the relationships with other developers. Are they maintaining those integrations, right? Something like, Nexweave, great, but something like Zapier, it's just kind of like a set it and forget it. You don't really have to look into it that much when it comes to an integration, but something that's a little bit more integrated. I can't think of a better word. Something that's a little bit more intense in terms of having two companies work with each other. There has to be a consistent flow of relationship building that happens between a team like Nexweave and then, whatever other team that may be, because it's a native integration that you'll see assets, videos, pictures, GIFs are being transferred back and forth. So that is another layer that, I want to see if a company is actually maintaining those integrations. And you guys can see that Nexweave is definitely doing that. So that's a lot of affinity building that myself and the Nexweave team have done over time to show you, and then we take a half hour to an hour of our week every week to show you guys, yes, the platform is growing nonstop. Plus, there's a massive, there's something big coming out. Andrew, I can't say it. Don't worry, I won't say it. I just can't, but you'll understand why when it comes out. And it's not something like little small, but it's just, you'll hear about it in the next couple months. So I'll leave it at that. There you go, Andrew. I hope you're happy. You don't have to choke me today. There you go.
Let's just say that we've been reaching out to a lot of developers to see how the ecosystem can then take in more APIs. So instead of Nexweave flowing into other ecosystems, we'll also have some assets flowing into the Nexweave templates, which could be forms, which could be audio. I'm not sure. But what I can say is that there are about 8 to 10 of them that we're having a conversation with. And within the next quarter, you will see how they can flow into the Nexweave templates.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
You got her from 2 to 5.
Well, we did the 4 to 5 part right there. That was on me. But it's something that you're not gonna regret it. I'm just gonna put it out there just like that. So, anyways, okay. That being said, guys, before I get myself into trouble, don't worry. I'm not gonna say anything else. Let's keep social distancing in mind. Wash your hands, guys, and be safe, be healthy. And we'll see you guys all next week, Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern. That note, have a good one, guys. Take care.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.